Alright, in this video, I'm going to talk about some hard truths, and these are going to be hard for people who are still struggling and they already came to America. Now, for people who are not yet here, maybe you're lucky. But then, if you're already here and you're struggling, this might sting a little bit, and if they don't, then even better. My advice is don't take it to make sure, like for you to learn, you need to, first of all, be able to forgive yourself, and at the same time, be able to learn and move forward from there. So basically, this video, I'm going to talk about why most of us, when we first come here, or some of us that will come here for a while, will stay broke. So anyways, the first point I'm going to talk about. The first point I want to talk about is one of the biggest myths that we have when we first come from back in Africa. We think like, okay, I'm going to go to America and I need to take care of my parents. And as much as that's a really good thing and you really want to do that, most of the time that ends up holding us back. And as much as we want to blame anybody, we can't, because at the end of the day, people are struggling and we need to make ends meet. So now, why does this end up holding people back is because you're focused on being able to work and make money and take care of your parents, but then that would now lead to you not improving and making sure you can make as much money. Because when you learn about the truth about how money is like really made and how you can make a lot of it, you need a bigger reason for you to make money. Because when you think about, okay, I want to be able to work so I can take care of my mom and my dad, you gotta get to a point where you can do that, and then now you kind of like lose the reason. There's a book by Simon Sinek. It's called Start With Why. It's a really good book. And that book talks about before you do anything, start with why. Meaning like, okay, let's say you're working out. Look into your why for why do you want to work out. Look into your why. Why are you going to school? Look into your why. Why are you going to work? Look into your why. Why do you wake up early? Or why do you wake up late? Because when you look into your why and you examine it, then you can find out if you need to tweak it, if it doesn't need to tweak it. But then basically when you start with a why, it helps you be able to move forward to the point where you can just keep on evolving. So when people have the why of like, okay, I'm going to come to America, I'm going to work so I can take care of my parents and take care of myself, at some point you will get there. And when you get there, you can get stuck there because now it's like, okay, what's next? And you don't have what's next. So what you're doing, you're just going to work every day, come back home, having the same thing. Now, there's some people that are very happy with that. And if you are totally perfect, maybe this video is not for you. But there's some people that have that and they don't like it. Now, if you don't like it, that means my advice to you is to go back and look at your why. Examine, why are you waking up to go to work? Why did you come to America? Why do you take care of your mom? Why do you, everything? And then from there, it can help you move forward and get to a point where you can figure out and engineer maybe a different why. Oh, the same why, but just have steps to it. Where like, okay, when I get here, I'm gonna get to the next level. Second reason is cultural beliefs. Now, I've talked about this before in other videos a lot of times. And what I mean by cultural beliefs, I mean like we are not properly taught about money. Now, one of the things that it was a game changer for me to learn about was that money is an output. So since it's an output, for you to make more, you don't need to focus. You don't need to start looking at, okay, I'm not making more, so I just need to do the same thing more times and I'll get more. No, for you to get more, you gotta look at the inputs. Same thing. I don't know if you remember, as a kid, we used to play PlayStation 2, and in PlayStation 2, you had 3 wires. And there's a yellow one, white one, and a red one. If you put it in the TV and then it didn't work, because most TVs, we call them chogo, which are like they had like a, how do you call this? The back of the head was like, it was like real big. And basically, what would happen is that if you input those wires and it doesn't work, you just change the input again. So same thing with money. It's like money is an output. You do a couple things and then the outcome is money. So now if you don't like the amount of money you get, or you don't like the output you're getting, don't look to just, okay, I'm gonna just do more of what I'm doing and then one day magically you're gonna just get more money. No, what it is you gotta look at what is the input I'm doing now. I used to work at a college for 3 years, and I remember my mindset before was like, I'm just gonna work hard. One day, I don't even know what I was thinking. Like one day, magically, I'll just wake up and I don't know, I'll have more money, or one day I'll just get a raise. That's gonna be enough money. And the crazy part about raises too, raises will you never be enough, like no matter what. So we get stuck on this thing, like I'm just work. One day they'll see my worth and then they'll say, hey, we'll bump you up a couple dollars or a couple shillings or whatever, and then finally you'll be happy. Well, yeah, I'm sorry to break it to you, it's not gonna be like that. If you don't believe me, try it and you'll see. But what you have to do now is to look at the input. What are you doing for you to create that money? If you're looking at it and you see that this input is only generating this much, what you have to do is just change the input. And when you change the input, this is another thing too you gotta learn. And I'm sure you already seen it. Disruption always follows intention. This is not something new, it's always been there. If you start doing something good, something hard happens first. You start going to work out, you're gonna start by feeling pain first. If you start eating better, you start by feeling hungry. You start by trying to, like, I don't know, stop drinking alcohol, you're gonna start feeling like, bad or whatever, if you're an alcoholic that bad. So anyways, even when if you change that input, it's not like, oh yeah, like I just changed the input, now I'm making money doing this, suddenly, boom, you're making so much more money. It doesn't work like that, because you have to learn first. And when you learn during that time, it's gonna be a little hard. But hard doesn't mean that you can't learn it. Hard, you were born in this world, you didn't know how to walk, you didn't know how to talk, you didn't know how to drive a car, you didn't know how to play video games, you didn't know how to use a phone, and you learned all that. So if you can learn that, what's stopping you from learning to do something else? And the crazy thing about it, certifications do not help. And that brings me to the next point. The next point is, one of the biggest things that we always stops us is because we're waiting for somebody to give us permission. And I remember to this day, and this is all, if I would blame this, I can't blame it to the system that we have, where you're in school and you're in class and you want to go to the bathroom and you raise your hand and you're like, sir, can I please go to the bathroom? And they'll let you go to the bathroom. If you want to go do something, you always got to ask the teacher. But then the thing is, when you get out of there, when you get out of school, when you get into life, there's no one who is going to give you permission to go and do something. You don't need it. If you believe you need permission from somebody, you need permission from a piece of paper to say that you can do something, that's good luck, because you're going to wait for a long time before you get the permission. And you're going to realize too, once you get the certificate or the permission that you wanted, that's really not going to help, because wherever you go, there's still somebody on the other side who might say no. So if they might say no already, and you are looking to just spend money and spend time learning something so you can get that permission, just for them to maybe say no, maybe say yes. I mean, anyways, to each his own. So if you're doing that, go ahead. But I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in being scared and waiting to do something. If you want to do something, do it. I'm making a YouTube video talking about finances. I'm not the richest guy ever, but I know I will be one of them though. But at the same time, I'm not waiting for somebody to give me permission to make this video. Like, I'll make this video and I'm posting on YouTube, and some people might like it, some people might not. And if they do, fine. If they don't, even better. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing that would stop us from actually getting better is also because we're worried about what people will say. We're worried that, oh, if I make this much money, then I won't tell people. Or if I'm making people think I sacrifice somebody or whatever. People are going to say something, either you're doing good or not. Like, whether you get better or you get worse, someone is gonna have something to say. Now, do you want them to have something to say while you're stuck, in the bottom, or you want them to keep on saying something when you're up there? I choose the second option all day. So, with that being said, I advise you to not worry about what people are gonna say, because people are gonna say something regardless. And the thing is that we get really messed up with is because we're also, I remember growing up watching American movies, and you're looking and you're thinking like, man, I want to be able to live that type of lifestyle. But the thing is about that is that when you focus on the outside, you forget to focus on the inside. And when you forget to focus on the inside, you don't see the things that you already have. One of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to like progressing in their life in either area, in health, in wealth, in relationships, is always focusing on the outside. You have a wife already, you have a girlfriend already, you have a woman that you know, like, okay, this is probably a really good woman for me, but you're focused on seeing how it looks outside there. Now you keep on doing that. I mean, I just don't see any benefit in that, because you focus on the outside, then you forget to focus on what you do have. And then what happens is you're steady chasing what's the outside. And the crazy part about how the outside is that there was always a better fish. Like there's always a girl with a bigger ass. There's always a girl with a bigger whatever. So, like, if you try to just chase that, you're gonna chase forever. There's always a guy with more money. There's always a guy with, like, either or. Even if you look at poor, like, there's always a guy with less money than you. There's always a guy with less this. So if you focus on the outside, you're not gonna move up, because you're so focused on what's outside instead of what's inside. We gotta focus on what are your strengths. If you're really good at something, then start figuring out a way to help somebody get a result so you can get paid. And that's really the simple part of it. Like, it's really that. Just figure out what you're good at. And I know everyone that's watching this, everyone that's watching this has a gift that they have. And since you have that gift, all you have to do is just first be aware, because there's opportunities everywhere. Like, I always hated this notion of thinking like, oh, because I was born here, because I was here, then I can do this. But then if you look at it, is there, how many are there, like, is everyone that's born in the same situation you are, is there, like, if you look, could you find someone who is doing really good with the same situation? As a matter of fact, you would actually find someone doing really good with worse situations than you. And that's always funny to me. That's why I don't believe in saying that, oh, whatever situation that you have can define your outcomes. No. You define. Because if you get better, your life will get better. I watch Jim Rohn a lot, and he talks about don't wish it was better, wish you were better. And that's all you gotta do. So I hope this video helps, and I'll see you in the next one.